I opened the book that I was given and realized that you're really supposed to talk about yourself for this icebreaker. So in the last couple hours I've been doing that, but I'm an interesting guy, so I'm sure y'all be entertained, at least I hope. Does anyone know any significant things that happened in the month of August? That's a good one. Anything else? Oh yeah, that's fun. You know. But two things that come to mind, well, three things that come to mind. One, Bob Dylan was booed off stage in 1965 for playing the electric guitar. Cool, but random. Two, Martin Luther King gave his I Have a Dream speech. Three, in my opinion, most importantly, August 28th, yours truly was born. It's a good day. I was born August 28th, 1993 in Andrews Air Force Base Hospital, Maryland. I know, Maryland. I'm from Virginia. We don't really like people from Maryland. It has a lot to do with their driving, their beliefs, I guess. I don't know. They're kind of weird. They love crab a lot. And I mentioned their driving. Yeah, if you see someone with a Maryland license plate, you have every right to roll up next to them and give them the look. You know what the look is. So I've never really been sure, because I lived in Virginia 90% of my life, but I was born in Maryland. My dad is a hardcore northerner. I'm talking Dunkin' Donuts, Boston, the Patriots, Tom Brady. Anyone? No? Some people like Tom Brady here? Wow. Yeah, he's hardcore northerner. I'm sure he could own a Dunkin' Donuts if you counted up all the ones he's bought. My mom is the complete opposite. She is 100% pure southern bred. Her grandma, or my grandma, excuse me, is from Texas. She lived in Alabama. She's a military brat, but she lived all in the South. My grandpa's from Florida. So I've always been on two sides of what am I? Am I a northerner? Am I a southerner? Because especially at a school like this, that's a huge deal. I mean, one of the first things they asked me, I mean, when they talked, or I met, some of the southern friends I made here, they'd be like, "Are you a Yankee?" And I had no idea what they were talking about. I was like, "I don't really like baseball. What are you talking about?" So I've always been confused on that. Maybe y'all could help me out with that at the end of this. Tell me what I would be, because Northern Virginia is not the South, but it is not the North either. It's its own little bureaucratic Washington, D.C., kind of all in themselves sort of place. I like the South a lot better. But like I said, I'm a military brat, sort of. I was born at the later stage of my dad's career. Both my parents were in the military. My dad was a pilot. My mom was an intelligence officer. My dad was in it for 32 years, but I was only alive for the last 10 or so. So I moved one time, and that was to Moscow, Russia. And all I can say about that place is it is cold. I can't really tell you what he did there because I was 4, but I know he worked with this is right after the Soviet Union fell, so he worked with getting the Russians to be, I guess, better friends with us, something like that. But I've been to all the surrounding countries and stuff like that, so seeing the Ukraine situation unfold and stuff like that is really interesting to me and my family especially. I'd say the situation in Ukraine is a fallacy on Putin's part. It's really weird for me to think as well that Putin has been president since I've been there. When I was 4 years old, he was the president, and I'm 20, and they were supposed to be some sort of a democracy. In Russia, some of the important events in my life, this may not seem so important, but I love animals. I have a cat and a dog. We bought my cat when I was in Russia, and somehow he's still alive. He was born in 1997, so he's pretty old for a cat. Other than that, though, it was really, it was nice for me to meet international friends. I'm still friends with them. Some, kids from India, kids from Britain, stuff like that, where I grew up with them, and that's really cool to have, especially on Facebook, even if it's just a message every now and then. But like I said, this was right after the fall of the Soviet Union when I lived there, and although I was young, I went there afterwards, and it's really a big contrast to see how we live and you see a million different type of cars out there, different shopping centers, all that. Every little thing in your life in Russia, when the Soviet Union was in power, was controlled by the government. This means you go shopping, you can't pay with money, you pay with stamps. That's how we had to pay. there's 3 types of cars and they tell you which color to buy. Nowadays it's changing, but it's still, it's a stark contrast to how we live today. And that's one thing, I'm patriotic, I'm proud to be an American. I think that we should all realize that other countries, I mean, Russia may seem like a superpower, but I would not want to live in Russia, or at least be a Russian. We moved back to Virginia around 1999, 2000. After that, my dad shortly retired, and that was the extent of my military brat life. My brother and sister, they're a lot older than me. Little family history, my dad was divorced and had my sister when he was 22, so she's 39 right now with 2 kids. I don't know if I guess if I was supposed to be here, but I'm here, I'm happy to be here. So they really lived the brat life. I lived one move with my dad, and I love the Air Force, I love the military, but my brother and sister are a little more turned off towards it. Maybe that's because they had a tougher experience with the moving and whatnot. And that's one of the biggest reasons that I came to the Citadel, or that is the reason actually. I'm here not just for the parties and the nightlife, but I'm here because I want to be a pilot. And that's the one thing that got me through knob year. It's getting me through sophomore year right now, which in my opinion, it's more fun because you're more open with your friends, but mentally, sophomore year has been a little bit tougher. And so being a pilot is why I'm here. I've been lucky enough to be a part of the Air Force Department. My dream is to graduate here and hopefully commission, so I'll let you know how that goes. But to talk about a little bit before the Citadel, high school, the kind of guy I was. I played lacrosse, I played football. Oh yeah. The one reason I haven't played at the Citadel is the price, actually. Yeah, it's $800. But lacrosse, I'd say my fondest memory, I'm running out of time, but my fondest memory was probably, we have these coaches or whatever, that they're assistants that our head coach would hire. They were sort of guys that used to play for the team, and now they're back just helping us out. They think they're good, I don't know. And this guy, he shot it over the goal. This was the funniest thing in my life, and you're gonna think it's bad when I'm saying it, but I'll tell you ahead of time, no one died, so it's fine. He shot it over the goal, over the fence, onto the highway, which had cars driving by 55 miles an hour. It hit the back of this minivan window, and it was like a grenade. I mean, it exploded, and this lady, thankfully no one was hurt, but she drove around, and right when that happened, some kid yelled, "Run." We all ran to the locker room. We come around, we see this lady who doesn't know anything about English. She can't speak it to save her life, screaming at the baseball team, holding the lacrosse ball in their face. And the guys he sees us crawling underneath cars, trying to get to our cars so we don't get caught or whatever. And he starts pointing at us. This lady's screaming at him. It was probably the funniest moment of my life, and playing lacrosse anyways. The next day we had all the big wigs, the principal, the athletic director, the regional athletic director come in our room with the lady. Her 17-year-old son's crying on the side of the road. And it was probably one of the funniest things I've ever experienced. I'm out of time here. My dream is to become a pilot. I came here for that reason. That's why I'm at this school. I hope you all learned something about me. Hope you think I'm an interesting guy like I said I was. So, thank you.